Yeah, my voice is audible to you guys. Confirm me once, please. Murli, I see you after many days.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
Yes,
so
Pawan.
yeah.
Since it is a festive season, I was away.
Okay, no problem. You can go through the recordings. Now,
Yes.
see, what we was understanding about the Docker. We was understanding about the Docker. What is the Docker containerization tool? We are going to create the application container. We are going to create the separate environment for application to run. Let me start the Docker desktop. Why I need to start the Docker desktop? Because Docker container will not have their own operating system and hardware. So what this Docker desktop will do, Docker desktop will start the Docker engine. This will be started. Now what this Docker engine will do, it will provide virtualization by interacting with the kernel of the operating system straight away. So it will start the Docker engine. So it will take some time to start. Then we understood some of the commands, basic commands we understood in how we are working in a Docker environment. We understood very thorough, so many commands we understood. Create one folder here. What you can do here, you create one folder here. Like this, you can open one of the terminal, just right click here. Open one of the terminal. If you open the terminal here, your dashboard will appear something like this. Terminal will appear something like this. If I'll go to the Docker hyphen version here, it will give me the Docker version, whatever the version we are using here. If I'll go to the Docker info here, it will give me very brief information about the Docker, what we are using here in our local environment. So this we have to perform. Then coming to here, now you need to understand this architect here. This architect is very, very important here. This is Docker architect. People will ask you, what is the Docker architect? Give me the Docker architect. What I meant by architect, each and every tool will work in their own way. Processes in their own way. So Docker will, there will be a client, there will be a Docker host, there will be a registry. Coming to a client, who is a client here? This is my client. I'm a client here. What I'm doing? I'm doing something like Docker images. What I'm doing? I'm doing a Docker images. What Docker images will give me? List of images here. These are list of images here. It will give me. Now, this will give me the list. From where is giving me list? Is giving me list from the host here. There is existing images here, which is available here. Is giving me images here. Now, if I don't have images here locally, so what it will do? It will fetch from the registry here. What it will do? It will fetch from the registry, something like this. I don't have a Redis here. What it will do? If I'll do a Docker run, I'll do a hyphen name equal to, I am doing Redis here. Then I'm doing in a detached mode and interactive terminal. What I'm doing for the Redis. Like this. First, it will check image where locally here, whether this is available locally or not. This is not available locally here. So what will be next case? Straight away it will go to the registry. Registry means in Docker Hub, it will take from the Docker Hub. One copy will be kept it locally, one copy will be given to us. This is what. If I'll go to the Docker images, I have a what? I have a Redis here. I have Redis here. If you want to understand more deeply, more systematically manner, please go through the recordings. Please perform. Please see the recording end to end and perform the same operation what I did here. If I'll give a Docker PS here, what Docker PS will give me status of running container. If I'll do a Docker PS -a, it will give me status of running plus exited container at the same time. If I'll do a Docker PS -a, it will give me status of running plus exited container. I don't have exited container here. If I want to see each and everything about the container, what I need to do, I do a Docker inspect command. What I'll do here, I'll inspect the container. What container? With the container ID. I'll inspect this container here with the 41. It will give me very, very descriptive information within the container. What you have installed, what you have configured. If there is something you have configured here. So from which image you created this? This is the image which we are using for Docker containers. So this is what we can see from here. End-to-end information. What network is attached with this one? What is the network here? Bridge network by default is attached here. Like this we can see. Other than this, if I do a Docker PS here, it will give me the status of running container. I want to pause here. I want to pause this container here. I don't want this container to run. I want to stop this for some time. So what will be there? It will stop. It will be paused here now. See, can see here, it will be paused here. Like if you want to unpaused, you can do unpause as well. Same in place of P here, pause here, you just do unpause. You will do a Docker PS here, it will give you something like this. So this is what we need to understand. These are some of the glimpses what we did. These things we performed till 1 hour. Please go through the recording. Now we need to.
Question. Sorry.
Yeah, yes, please go on. No problem.
Don't
No
clear
need to be
that one.
sorry. Ask me the question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
please.
Don't clear that one. See, whenever you're doing Docker PS pause, right? Where is that command? Yeah. So you have given the reference of 4.1. So we
So
need not give the full container ID, or just we need to give only starting
you
to.
are the boss to decide here. You can give 2 letter, 3 letter. Sometimes 2 will not work. Usually 99.9999% 2 letter will work. You can write full ID. I'm lazy to write full ID. Why I need to write? That's why I'm
Okay,
taking
okay.
full. Otherwise, what you can do,
Some.
you can do perform the same task by writing the name also. Either you write the name,
Okay.
either you write your full container ID, either you write 2 letter, minimum 2, one will not take. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You are the boss to decide. If you're not, he's not giving you result, then you take full ID.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. Any other questions? So like this we need to understand. Then we are getting into very, very important topic now. We are understanding about the port mapping. Now see what I'm doing here. We have application. Now see what I'm saying. What I'm saying as of now, I'm saying Docker is one of the platform where we are putting application, where we are putting our application. So I want to access the applications, but how? I'm talking about application. Container is one of the environment where we are putting our application to the end user, right? End user means people like you and me. We are putting application for the end user. How? In the form of containers, right? This is the process. What we are doing, we are putting application for the end user. How? In the form of containers. I have a container here. Inside the container, what I'm doing, I'm putting the application. Let's take an example of 2 to 3 application. I'm going to give you example of 2 application here. Jenkins, Sonar. So I want to run Jenkins within the container. I want to run Nexus within the container. Nginx, not Nexus, Nginx within the container. I want to run this container, this application within the container. How? If I'm talking about the container here, how? So I'm a user here. What I am a user here. So if I want to access this application within the container here, so how I can perform that task, how I can do that? If I'm talking about container, container will have their unique IP. IP means something like this will be there, 168. It's not mandatory. This range will be here. I'm writing this range. I'm just writing this range here. Whenever I'm talking about container, container will have their IP. How to check whether container will have IP or not? I'll do a Docker PS. It will give me status of running container. Then what I'll do here? I'll go to the Docker inspect here. I'll inspect my container here, 41. Now see, if you see here IP address, this is the address of your IP address of your container. So you can see here, this is your IP address, prefix IP here, endpoint here. This is your endpoint for the container. Like this end-to-end information will be there for the container. Like this will be here. But one limitation, we cannot map this IP to the external user. We have a IP here. What is the first way of, now go to the cloud again. What is the first way of communication? IP. We can communicate through the IP, what cannot, because this is, if you see this range here, not possible to connect. What is the problem here? If we stop or restart this, it will change actually. What is the problem? If we stop or restart, it will change. So not possible. Then what we are going to do here, where we are running container, we are running container within the host. What is host in my case? My laptop. What is host in my case? Of course, Docker engine host. What is my host here? Within the host. Whenever we are going to run the container, we are going to run the container within the host, whether it will be your server, what server, EC2, it will be your engine, or it will be your virtual machine, any. Within the host, you are going to run the container like this. Now, what we are going to do here, we are going to do a port mapping concept. We are learning is port mapping, very very important concept. People will ask you, definitely people will ask you how you are mapping the port. People are calling, some people are calling port binding, some people are calling port mapping. Actual concept is mapping. What is the mapping here? In mapping, what we are going to do, we are going to assign the port. What we are going to assign, we are going to assign the port to the host. What is the port? Will be port will be assigned this range 30,000 to 32,767. This port we will assign to our host. Like this port we will assign to our host. Now how the communication will be? End user will interact with this port. End user will interact with this port. So how the communication will be internally then? This host will interact. Now host port will interact with what? Container port. Like this piping, you can see something like this piping type. So what this host port will interact? Host port will interact with the container. Now for host, we have given the port 30,000 to 30,267. You can give any port, that is entirely up to you. But one more thing here, whenever we are giving any host port here, whenever we are giving any port for our application here, we cannot give for container here, we cannot replicate the same for other, because that will be occupied here. That will be occupied here. Now how the communication will be? It will be something like this. So how we will decide this port here? This will be decided whatever the application thing you're running inside. What I'm running a Jenkins here. I'm running a Jenkins. By default port number for Jenkins is, you need to know what are the by default port number 8080. If you doesn't know, means just search on Google. Just search on Google, not difficult. I'm talking about Nginx here. By default port number is 80. If I'm talking about others, there are hundreds of. There are hundreds of. If it doesn't remember me, just search on Google. No problem. Like this. So how the communication will be? First communication will be through the host. Then host will interact with the container port, and we will be able to access our application. Like this. This is called port mapping. Let's write the command here. I want to access the Jenkins. How I'll access? I'll access something like this. What I'll do here? I'll do a Docker.
Docker run.
Yeah, give me command, help me. Docker run. Then next.
Docker run.
-dit. Right?
-dit. Yeah.
What I'm
Hyphen
doing,
name.
is detached mode and interactive terminal. You can write like this as well. You can write like this as well. You can write like this as well. That is entirely up to you. Are the boss to write like this. Detached mode and interactive terminal. Then hyphen name.
Hyphen name.
I am writing a
Equal
name
to.
equal to Jenkins here. Right? I am writing Jenkins container. I am writing. It will be helpful. This is name of the container. Please understand. This is the name of the container. Then what I'm doing a port mapping here. If you are defining port mapping means -p. Port mapping is what port? First of all, I'm mapping the port of a local host here. What port number I'm giving? I'm giving a 30,000 into 30,000 here. Like this is one of the way you can do 30,000 to 30,000. Then container port -p 8080. What is the port number? 8080 here. And what we are dealing? We are dealing with the Jenkins. If you are defining any tag here, you just write a tag here. This is how port mapping will be done. Other command, let me modify this command here. What I can do here, I can do a Docker run here, -dit here, hyphen name equal to what I'm doing. I'm running a Jenkins container C01 here. I'm running this one here, -p port mapping here. I'm doing for the, if you are defining other, it's not mandatory to write 30,000. You can write any here, 8080. You can define like this, host to the container, or otherwise, let me keep like this. Otherwise, you people will be confused. Right, like this. Jenkins here, and whatever the tag you are defining, you can define the tag. Done. This is how you do a port mapping from host to the container here. Port mapping from host to the container.
Pawan,
You
one
people
question.
can take a screenshot of this one. Kindly take a screenshot. Any questions here?
Yes, Pawan, one question.
Yeah, go on, please.
So in the Docker run command, we are doing a mapping of ports between host, container, and Jenkins.
Jenkins container. Host to the, no, we are doing host to the container. Forget about this Jenkins.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we are mapping host to the container directly, whatever container that is.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
So I can like, in the container, I can, instead of Jenkins, I can deploy any application, right?
Yeah, you can. Now see what will be the change.
Okay, the content will remain same, but the application will be different.
This port will be different, right? What
Yeah,
port will be different? This one will be different. Only this change, right?
yeah.
Only this change. Only this change. Rest each and everything will remain same. But we cannot assign same port to different containers. Host port also. So you need to change the host port also. Which range?
Okay.
This range. Okay.
Okay. For
Any other?
example,
Yeah,
can
please.
I do this for example, in the same diagram? So if I see the diagram, Jenkins as an application is deployed in container.
Uh-huh.
Can I deploy another application along with Jenkins?
Only
Do the
one.
port
You
mapping?
can do only one, not two. Two we cannot
Okay.
do.
Okay. Got
Because
it.
yeah, I'll show you why we cannot do. I'll show you practically. We will connect to the Jenkins here. We'll connect to the Nginx as well. Okay.
Okay. Thanks,
Yeah.
Pawan.
No problem.
Pawan?
Any other question? Yeah, Abhishek, yeah, please.
Yeah. Actually, the default port number is 8080. So
Uh-huh.
why we cannot connect with that? Why we need to give a particular port number to access the web page?
Means why we need to give a port number, right? Then how you will
Yes,
communicate?
yes.
Then how we will
No,
communicate?
8080 already there, na?
Where?
The default port number is 8080 for Jenkins.
Uh-huh.
So instead of 8080, we are giving 30,000 something. So why you need to give that particular number instead
No, no,
of
no. See,
access
Abhishek.
by default?
So how it will access by default? I know this is a by default port number of Jenkins, right? 8080. But this command
Yes,
doesn't
yes.
know, right? This command doesn't know. How will map? Means see, your friend know where is your home, right? You know where is your home. Your friend doesn't know where is your home, right? You need to show him, right? You cannot think like, okay, he will know where is my home, right?
Oh,
Something
yes,
like
yes.
this. There is a home, right? There is a map here, right? You have given port
Yes.
number of host, but from where here? Now see, you have said, okay, my home is in Bhubaneswar or Bangalore. So okay, I reached. I went to airport. I went to airport. I'm trying to find Abhishek. Where I'll go, right? Something like this. So you need to give a path for this one, right? Host to the container, where exactly? We knows this is a by default port number, but this command doesn't know what is the by default port number, right?
Okay, okay. So we are giving that to another
Yeah,
port number to that default host number. Okay, okay. Got
yeah, host to the port, right? But yeah,
it. Yeah.
any other things? Now please take a screenshot of this thing. Will be very, very important for you people to understand in a very short and simple manner. So after taking screenshot, confirm me once, please. We'll do practical things. Done. Confirm me once, please. Done. Screenshot is done, Abhishek.
Yeah, yeah.
Now see, now let's dig more, little bit more actually. Now let's do a practical same. What I'm doing here, I'm writing same. I'm not doing anything, right? What I'm doing here, I'll do a Docker run here. It's not mandatory. You can write name you can write before as well. DIT you can write before as well. You are the boss to decide. There is no hierarchy. Okay. DIT I'm writing before here. I'm writing Jenkins hyphen container here. And what I'm doing, I'm writing Jenkins hyphen container. So from where I'm mapping the port number, I'm mapping 32,000, not 30,000. Let me map not 32,000. I'm mapping 31,100. Like this also you can map 8080 here. I'm mapping Jenkins. See guys, one more thing here. This Jenkins is deprecated here. You can use the tag here. If you're using this thing here, don't forget to use the tag, because Jenkins, this image is deprecated here. Let me show you people. So if I'll go to the Docker Hub, if I'll go to the Docker Hub here, so you will be able to see these things here. This is deprecated here. If you see here, this is deprecated here. In this case, what you can use tag like this. These are other tag also you can use. It's not mandatory to use only those tags. These tags you can use. I am using 2.6.1. So what I'm doing, I'm using 2.6.1 here. 2.60.1.
What does deprecation mean, Pawan?
Deprecation means they are not making. See, now whenever we are talking about a software, right? Suppose we are using Instagram. Instagram is one type of software, right? So means they are not providing any support in the future. Now some feature will work, some will not work in the future. Now see, suppose Instagram is not doing any modification into Instagram. Now what will happen after 10 year, 20 year? New technology will come, right? New software will come, new library dependencies will come for the softwares. New way of interacting to the software will come. So these things will not work. Okay.
Can I say that as it is not in operational use?
Can say can
Okay.
use. That's right. Okay. Deprecation means they are not providing support for that, right? What can be the reasons? They are not getting revenue out of that one, right? That's why they are doing that. So if I do a Docker PS here, it will give me the status of running container. Now let's get into this one here. What is the port number here? Localhost. What we are giving? 31,500, right? Which localhost port we are giving? 31,500 here. No, 31,100. What we are giving? 31,100 we are giving. See, we are mapping host port. Host port will directly interact with the containers. Our job is done. We just not need to map our host, not to the container. First, we need to talk to our host. As we talk with our host, it will automatically talk with our container because we have mapped that actually. We showed them address. We already showed the address. Go to that place. So our job is done.
So the host is nothing but the EC2 machine, right? It is EC2 machine.
In my case, it's a laptop. If you are creating now, when it will be EC2, if you are creating, what I'm doing, if I'm creating EC2 means if I'm creating EC2 instance, on that instance I'm working. Now where I'm working in my laptop, right? In my case, host is my local. If you are working on, if you're creating the server here, in this server, if you're creating in actual environment, that will be your EC2. Okay, in actual environment, it will be your EC2. But
Yes,
here it's my local.
Yeah, if possible, can you create a one in AWS, one EC2 machine?
No, that we will do because we need to do a practical project also on this, right? Docker.
Okay.
Okay, we will do project on Docker as well. Okay, so there I'll show you how you can install. I'll show you how to install Jenkins, how to install Git, how to install Maven, how to install SonarQube, how to install and how to connect these all tools together as well. Don't worry, we'll get into very high end, but as I'm going from here, so please understand those things from here. So you need to know how you can work on this environment also, right? Not many people will show you this environment. You need to understand how you can work on this environment as well. That we will learn, Mr. Venkat. Okay. So now this is what, now if I'm talking about this thing here, now this is what we can access here. Now see, if we have password, if I'll go to the Docker desktop here, see, there will be somewhere Jenkins here, Jenkins container. This is my Jenkins container, right? If I go here, my Jenkins container is logs, inspect, wide mount here. If you want to see the logs here, you can see the logs from here. I need Jenkins password here like this. Container technology. If I enter the password here, I will be able to enter into Jenkins from here. Done. Right? We are keeping till here. Then now let's do the Nginx here. Now what will be the change here? Help me please. What is the by default port number? By default port number is 80.
80.
Give me the command, guys. Docker. What is the command?
Run.
Okay, Docker run. What next?
-dit.
-dit. I am running in a detached mode and interactive terminal. Then afterward,
name equal to Nginx.
Okay, I am running Nginx container. It's not mandatory, as I said in the beginning itself, it's not mandatory to write equal to. You can write like this as well, will work. But equal to means you will understand you have given the name, right? So it's not mandatory to write, okay? But you can write if you want. Then afterward, what will be my next thing?
-p
Okay.
311 or something.
311
0. Okay.
You can give 31,000. In this range, you need to keep 30,000 to in this range you keep. Okay. You are the
Right.
boss to decide here. But see, whenever we are going to work in environment, right, you need to remember, because we are going to talk about 100 of container there, right? Not only one container. There we have to remember this. Now suppose what I'm doing, I'm mapping just now what we mapped 31,100. We mapped 31,000.
100.
We mapped 31,100, right? Not 31,000, but we mapped 31,100, right? Possible to map this one again?
No.
Right? We already assigned. So here what we need to remember, which port number we have given. What we can do like this as well. 999, 31999 we can map. And what is the container port? 80.
80.
What we are doing? Nginx. If you are defining any tag, you can go to here. You can define the tag. That is entirely up to you. What I'm doing here, I'm going to the Nginx here. If you want to define any, please read something about Nginx, guys. It will be helpful. Just 10-15 minutes. Okay. So like this. If you want version here, you can take this. Like this. I'm running. Now where? Docker PS. One more thing here. If you're not, so what I'll do here, if you're not running, now see what I'll do here. This is 31,099. I'm writing 990 here. But what I'm doing here, I'm not writing this DIT. What he's saying?
Container name is conflict.
What is the problem here? Anyone there? Help me. What is the problem? Container
Container
conflict.
name is same.
We cannot have same container name, same container be the same name, different container be the same name, right? What we need to do? We need to edit that name. What I'm writing 01, right?
Yes.
Done. Like this, if you're not defining DIT, right? Your container is running here, right? Your container is running. What is our port number here? Let's go here. I'm going into there. What? Localhost.
80.
What is our port number? 31999.
Yes.
Right? Welcome to Nginx. If you want to define anything, if you want to see anything in Nginx, can be. Go to the Nginx, you will be able to see. Welcome to Nginx. It's not opened as of now yet. This is running in a background, right? So it will open. Just a second. Now see, like this, we'll be able to. If you go to the wcom, can go. Will reach. This is running actually. This is running. That's why. Another thing here, what is the local host? We have given another port number, right? What local host we have given? 31990. Here also it will work. So here also it will work. Site can't be reached. It will reach actually. So it's not running because this is running in a background, right? It will take some time to run. That's it. Like this, you can run. This is how you run your application in your Docker environment. Very simple. And in the future, we are going to install the Jenkins, right? Then you will understand how much time it takes to install Jenkins. So it's a time taken process. But here, just run the container, straight away get into the application, straight away start working there. Very, very easy. This technology is very high end. Then, this is what we need to understand. So my server, this is occupied here. My terminal is occupied. What I need to do here to come out from here? Give me the command. Control C. Okay. Please press Control C. Control C will kill the process. Okay. Kill the process. As I killed the process here, you see the change here. This will go out. What I killed this 991, right? It will go out. This will not be running straight now. See, because I killed the process. This one is running because I'm running this in a background. What I'm doing, I'm running this in a background, but I killed this process here. So this is one of the disadvantage of running services under in front of you. Next concept, we need to understand about networking here. Networking means how the communication will be. If I do a Docker network ls, what I'll do, Docker network ls, it will give me list of network. What it will do me? It will give me the list of network. If you want to see the network thing here, you go to the -help. Why we are using network? Communication between the container, how they are connecting with each other, how they are communicating with each other. We need any specified network. Specified network. Docker network -help. If I'm going to the Docker network ls, it will give me the list of network. Network means by default 3 network are there. First one is none, second one is host, third one is bridge network. None means neutral network. Think about electricity, positive and negative, right? In one wire there will be a current, in another wire there will not be a current. Why one wire there will be positive? Because in one wire there will not be a current, because that will be a supporting for main wires. Same here, none means neutral here. This is neutral here, supporting for what? Host and bridge. Host network means this network will be for the host. EC2 means EC2, my laptop means my laptop, virtual machine means virtual machine, engine means engine, whichever host you are taking. Bridge network, very, very important. Whenever I'm talking about a container here, what I'm talking about the container here. How many container we have running here? Clear. If I do a Docker PS here, how many container are here? We have 3-4 container here. So you want to check under which network these got created. What I need to do? Docker inspect. Just check the inspect here for the Redis. Whenever you are creating container, by default, this container will be created within the bridge network. By default, this will be created within the bridge network. You don't want this container to be created in a bridge network. You want your own customized network for the containers. What do you need to do? Docker network. What do you need to do? Docker network create. What do you need to create? Create a network. What I'm creating a network called class network. Done. I'm creating a network called class network. How to see? If I'll go to the Docker network here, I'll go to the Docker network here. After going to the Docker network, I'll do ls here. What network got created? Class network. Now I want to create a container. How to create a container? Docker run -dit hyphen name equal to, I am creating name equal to Alpine container here from the Alpine. But I want customized network. What I need to do? I just need to add -hyphen network equal to whatever the network. What network? Class network. Done. Just add one more thing here. What do we need to do? -hyphen network equal to class network in the Alpine container. Done. Got created. I want to change. Let me change another one. Docker run. What I'll do here? Docker run -dit hyphen name equal to what I'm doing. I'm creating Ubuntu one here. Ubuntu container I'm creating. Then I'm creating -hyphen network equal to, I'm creating in a class network. What we are creating? From which image? I'm creating from the Ubuntu. Same here I'm doing for the Redis. Same here I'm doing for the Redis. In place of Ubuntu here, what I'll do for the Redis. Done. Done. Third one. If I'll do a Docker network, what I'll do here? Docker network ls here. It will give me the list of network. Then what I'll do here? Now I'll do a Docker inspect. I'll inspect my network. Which network? You can inspect by name. You can inspect by network ID as well. What I'm writing only 86 network ID. It will give me end-to-end information. How many container you have created within this network here. What I created a network called, I created a container called Redis container within this network. Created a container of Alpine. Created a container of Ubuntu here. This is how you create your customized network within your, this is how you create a customized network for your container.
But how it makes a difference, of my own customized network and as well as the bridge network?
You need to mention, you need to see here.
What is the, is there any performance issues or,
No, see, something like, see, think about large thing, Mr. Venkat. Now see here, what is the thing here? I am talking about 3 container here, right? But in
Right.
actual, how many will be? Hundreds of container will be there, right? So now, suppose, in host, if I'm talking about host, in host actual, what will be thing? We are 6 people here, right? What 6
Mhm.
people will do? 6 people will create so many container here. Now
Right.
suppose means we are not giving any network here, right? We are creating container. Now where those container will be created? Those container will be created within the bridge network here, right?
Mhm.
Within
Mhm.
bridge network, it will be there. It will be quite clumsy and messy, right? Because so many container will be created within this bridge network, right? So what will be there for communication purpose? You need your own customized network, means own customized network to be created. Whenever you are creating the container, you'll create the container in your own network. Why? One more thing here, communication purpose. If you want to, if your container need to talk, right? Whenever we are, why we are creating the container? Because container need to talk. If container are in the same network, they can communicate. If you are in different network, if they are in a different network, of course, communication problem will be there. There will be many issue in this. So in this case, customizing your own network will be very, very easy. Whenever you are creating the container, you need to create the container like this. One more
Aman,
thing.
we are customizing to the own network because we need to communicate between the, I mean,
You are
own
staying in
containers.
you are staying in hostel, Abhishek, right? You are staying in one house. Okay, you are staying in
Yes.
one house. Okay, so if you're staying in one house, communication is better. If you're staying in one room, communication will be more better. If your friend is staying in another house, communication will be, of course, right, won't be able to communicate, right?
Yes, sir.
Think like that way. And another thing I wanted to say something here in class network, right? Whenever we are creating the network here like this. Any other thing, Mr. Venkat want to say something? Go on, please.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Right. So this is for the communication purpose. And like this, we need to create the customized network. One more thing. Yeah, this I wanted to say. Now see, if you have created the container, what I'm doing, I'm creating the container here. Docker run, what I'm doing, I'm doing a Docker run DIT here. I'm not defining any. What I'm doing, I am running a DIT Alpine here straight away. I have not given any network here where this got created. But after you realized what you realized, I should have created this in the where? In the class network. In
Right.
this case, you cannot change. As you created this container within the network, after creation, you cannot change. Important thing, very, very important things. You cannot change the network after. If you change the network, means it will create in another. So you have to create others. Previous one you cannot change. Okay. So like this. Now what I'm doing here, any other question? If you have question, you can ask me. Yeah. If I do a Docker network ls, right? It will give me the list of network. Then one more thing here, very important. I'm creating a network here. What I'm doing here, I'm doing a Docker network create. I'm creating a network actually. What I'm doing here, I'm creating a network. What network I'm creating? I'm creating a network called ABCC. I'm creating another network called ABC. I'm creating another network ABC. I'm creating another network like this. I'm creating another network like this. Now, if I'll go to the Docker network ls here, it will give me the list of network. Then I'll use the command called prune. I'll use one command called prune here, Docker network prune command. What is the prune command here? This command will delete all unused network. What I meant by unused network, if you have not created any container, if you have not created any container within your network, that network will be your, means that will be your unused network. So I have created 5-6 network here, but I have not created single container with this network. So what will be that? That will be my unused network. If you want to delete that, please use prune command, but be careful. It will remove all unused network. If your friend has created something, it will remove those as well. Now see, straight away it will delete all those. Prune command will remove all unused network here. If I'll go to the Docker network ls here, it will give me the list of network. It has not deleted this. If I want to delete the network, what I need to do? Let me delete. The command is docker rm. I can do a docker network rm here. Remove network. What network? 86. I want to remove 86 network. This network is giving me conflict problem. This network is being used by container here, active endpoint. So what we need to do, we need to disconnect first, or we need to remove the container first. And then only we will be able to do. Again, same old story like yesterday. What do you need to do? Docker ps here. I want to delete the container. What I need to do? I need to stop the container first, right? I need to stop the container first. After stopping the container, then I can delete the container, right? This is what we need to perform. Why I'm doing like this? Because I need to delete the network. So first I'm deleting the container here. Doing a docker stop here. Like this, in place of stop. This is smart way of working, how you work. Right, check how I'm working. Like this, RM here, if I do it, docker ps here, nothing will be there. Only one is there. What I need to do, I need to docker stop. I am doing a 2b here. Like this, done. If I do a RM, this will be removed. See, I removed only container, not network here. How to see? If I do a docker network ls here, it will give me the network ls, right? Then I want to remove the network. I can remove, right? I can use the docker network RM command as well. I can remove, I'm using prune as well. So now you are the boss. It will be removed. You can remove from the prune also. That is your entire. Now, please don't, I won't recommend you people to use the prune command. Please, whenever you are removing, remove from the RM. Remove from the RM. So this is how we customize our network in our Docker environment. This is how we customize our Docker network ls here. This is what we need to understand. Port mapping, and this is very, very important here. Like this. And another thing here, let me combine this all together. What we can do here, we can write like this, right? Give me the command for port mapping, and what we are doing, I am running Nginx container. Okay, what we want one customized network, plus we want customized port mapping. So what I need to do, help me guys, what I need to do first?
Docker run.
I need to create the network first because I don't have network here.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Docker network create.
I'll do a Docker network create. Okay. What I'm creating a class 01.
01.
Okay. I'm creating a network called class 01. Then give me the command now. Docker.
Docker run.
Okay. Docker run.
Container name.
Then
Docker run.
Map. Name equal to hyphen name equal to
hyphen.
Yes.
Name.
Hyphen name. Okay. Hyphen name. Okay. Equal to, we are talking about Nginx, right? Nginx. Okay. Then after
Port hyphen p.
Okay. Hyphen p. Okay. Which port you want to give? Give me the port number.
30,001.
30,001.
Okay. 30,001. Then
colon 80.
okay. Nginx done. Then
Network.
Class and
hyphen network, right? Which network?
Class 01.
Yeah, class 01. Then
01.
afterward, we forgot one thing here. DIT also
Right.
you mentioned.
Right.
Then I need to run the Nginx. Done. Like if I'll do a Docker network ls here, right? What I'll do here, I'll do a Docker network ls here. What I'll do here, Docker network ls here. If I'll do a Docker network, this is class network. Let's check whether this container got created here or not. How to check? Docker network, inspect here. You do a inspect here. And inspect for 0A. Got created? Now let's check the port. What is the port number? 31. What is the port number here? Localhost port was
30,001.
Yeah, 30,000. It was
One.
Done. We are done. It will open. .com also will open. It will take some time actually. Now like this. It will open. .com will open as well. It will take some time because this is running in the background, right? This is how we combine these all commands together. Right. Tomorrow we are going to understand about the volume. If I'm talking about volume, right? Volume is not sound here. Volume is Storage,
Storage.
right? We'll talk about storage. Then if by time permits, we will talk about Docker file. Very, very important topic. We'll talk about Docker file, how you can create your customized image, how you can run your customized image, how you can create your customized containers. Okay. So like this. See. Okay, guys, if you have any sorts of question, you people can ask me the question. Otherwise, practice. Okay. I'm showing you people very short and simple ways. Okay. So it's very good way of working, like how I'm working, how we are working like this. Okay. Okay, guys, take care. Otherwise, if you have any question, you can ask me. Otherwise, I'll catch you people tomorrow. Okay, then good to
Okay,
go.
thanks, Pawan.
Yeah, thank you, Murli. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you, Venkat, Abdullah. Yeah.